Microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? It's the 5'7" assassin in the podcast business. I am your host, Rohan Patra, the rap music plug at your service.
Here we are again at the end of a rainbow.
The Rap Music Plug podcast presented by QLC TV is the remedy to the I don't have anything good to listen to problem. Through in-depth album and song reviews, as well as artist interviews and general rap commentary sprinkled in between on all of what the mainstream and underground rap scenes have to offer, this is your one-stop shop to knowing what to add to your queue, play next, or pop into your record player. Welcome to the show. What is up, family? Longtime fans of the show have heard me wax poetic about this very wonderful guest that we have today. She's the producer of Double Down with Nappy Nina, one part of the Air duo, producing the Velocity record alongside Maassai, and is generally an artist whose sound spans many styles from hip-hop, electronic, drum and bass. And for those that have been blessed to hear any of this woman's compositions before, they've surely said something like I have at many times, which is just like, what the fuck is this? Because that's honestly what I've said many times audibly to myself. There's just something so fun yet experimental going on with all of these beats. And I've said it before, and many have, it's not just me, but I think this artist right here is the future. So this person I'm speaking to so glowingly of is named JWords, who I'm so happy to have welcome the show. So how are you doing?
Hi, well, that's so sweet of you to say.
No,
Thank
honestly,
you so much for having me, to me.
I feel every word to my bones. It's just it's one of those things when you see an artist that you can just see like 5-10 years down the road of what that sound, if it gets into the right ears, inspires the right minds, like it could lead to like this whole thing. And just thank you for all that you've contributed. And I know you're just getting started, so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So you're from New Jersey, and
Mm-hmm.
there seems to be a real surge of talent coming out of there, particularly who I've actually had the pleasure of speaking to. So I'm talking Iceberg Theory, Fatboy Sharif, and Roper Williams, who've all joined the show. They're all great, sweet people. And so forgive me for grouping New Jersey with New York here. I know that's probably a thing, but the greater East Coast underground is really thriving in many people's opinions. And just as importantly, thriving in terms of kind of popularity, it seems to be spearheaded by a really nice collective coalition of like wholesome, good people. It just seems to be a common theme whenever I've kind of encountered personally or just kind of viewed online. Do you get that same wholesome feeling as an actual member of this scene? Like, do you feel like you guys are like a really good group of people that are kind of pushing positivity here?
Yeah, especially growing up in New Jersey. I lived in the city called Union City. Where I moved to New York, but I was only like 15-minute bus ride from Manhattan, 42nd Street. So from there, you could take a train anywhere. So I grew up just going to New York all the time. So I don't feel any type of way getting grouped into New York and just the whole East Coast tri-state area underground music, because that's something that inspired me growing up and stuff. And we have our own movement going on in New Jersey that a lot of talented people coming out from there all the time. So I just love being from the East Coast, honestly. Like, I grew up going to New York all the time and just being in New Jersey all the time too, very small city. The area that I grew up into is very like close to New York. So it was like Hoboken, Jersey City, North Bergen, and all that. It's like by the like water, Hudson River and stuff. So yeah, it's been a big inspiration for my music, and definitely coming out here as a younger adult and playing shows and meeting everybody, So yeah, it's been fun. Now I live here in New York. I live in Brooklyn, so I'm closer to all my friends, able to make music with people who come over and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and I find like you're inhabiting, of course, such a interesting space, not only just in like hip hop circles, but like electronic dance circles, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm curious, like, what was your musical upbringing like? Like, which styles did you initially gravitate towards first, and like, how did you get into the others from there?
I definitely gravitated towards hip hop as a young, like, since I could remember listening to Rap City on
Mm,
BT and MTV stuff, and just loving music videos from everybody, early 2000 shit too, Later on, like when I was in high school, I started getting into like more underground, like just rap stuff, like from like the 90s and like the Far Side, Soul Initiatives and all that stuff. And then actually, like senior year of high school, I was in a band, so I was listening to a lot of rock music.
mm,
Started getting influenced with that. But aside from all these genres, I also listen to a lot of. I'm Dominican, so I listen to a lot of dembow and just club music. I'm from Jersey, so Jersey club music was like really big as
mm.
a child in middle school. Going to these parties and dancing to this music and stuff. So I definitely loved all these types of music and stuff. So that's why I feel like my music sounds like the way it sounds like, danceable, but also like soulful because I love rap music and I grew up like that, but I also grew up listening to Jersey Club and Dembo and Reggaeton and all this stuff.
Mm.
Salsa, bachata. There's a lot of different genres that I grew up listening to just in the household, and then when I found my own music on the internet, it was like more underground rap stuff and like soulful stuff. Like when I first listened to like MS Doom and stuff, it was like a whole experience.
Mm.
And just rappers in that category and stuff. Um, but yeah, so I feel like it was a lot of different influence growing up and listening to a lot of different rhythms all the time. And I'm like, damn, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and
So
like the rhythms there, that's like a really key part I find because like I'm curious, what do you see the connection between these styles of music that like you've been working with, influenced by, and like in terms of the connection, in terms of like how you've been able to put them together into one thing? Because I feel like that's the part that I find so impressive and like confusing, honestly, because I do see we do have like crossovers naturally between hip hop and like a jazz, hip hop and like R&B a lot of times, but the way the genres you're messing with are not usually put together in a way that isn't complete trash, to be quite honest. Like, to be honest,
that's funny. Thank you. I mean, I tried. I mean, like I said, so okay. I guess it started off. I used to be in a band, and then the band broke up. So I learned how to play piano in the band and stuff. I didn't know how to make drum loops, or I didn't know how to do drums until like I literally had to sit there and like I was like, I'm gonna be my own drummer too because I wanted to
Mm,
just make the overall sound here. And like my earlier beats, like 2016 type beats that I was making, you could hear that I was trying to do what I'm doing now, I guess, like mix um more danceable like drum patterns, but with more like sample bass, good samples and like chopped up kind of crazy and stuff like
mm.
that, or synths and stuff. Like I grew up playing synths, so I started getting addicted to different synthesizers and stuff like that. So I guess it took like a while to get here, I guess, but I was definitely trying to mix in the band that I was in was like a fusion type band too. So we were making like psychedelic rock music. You know what I
Oh
mean? Like
shit,
just
yeah.
kind of
Nice.
crazy. So that's why I guess my music would be like it's very mindful, but then like also grounded in the way that the rhythms are. I don't know. I literally just love like spacey synth sounds, cool samples, and then crazy like drum patterns and stuff.
I like
Sum
that,
it all up.
mindful yet grounded in rhythm. That's like a good way because like it's you have like the Air album, for instance, where you just have like some, yeah, it's like very like psychedelic, abstract kind of samples, but then the rhythms are so like, I don't know, potentially high BPM or just like
Mm-hmm.
head nodding, dancey. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and like one part of like the mystery, I guess, of your sound that I've been trying to like understand is that I think you kind of hinted at it too just now, is that I don't always even like usually when I hear a beat, I can kind of tell how it was made roughly, like not literally, but kind of. But with yours, it
Mm-hmm.
feels very like live performance based. And from what I do understand, you were a bit of a gearhead. I can see some of it in the background here. You really like getting into the weeds of like modular synths, drum machines, cables, all that good stuff. I'm too dumb to understand. What inspires you to get so deep into like the technical nuts and bolts of music making?
Actually, this is my favorite type of story to tell because like I had to like really figure out what kind of gear I wanted to use for so many years because like I said before, I was in a band, so honestly being in a band like taught me a lot and like taught me how I wanted to move with my music because
Mm-hmm.
um I love the live aspect of music, of course, like performing it live and being able to perform what you made live. So for many years like I was trying to figure out how I was going to perform this music live because I had an SP and like no disrespect or anything like that, but like I couldn't just sit there and like turn knobs on the SP without like doing more, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for a year, like, so I started performing 2017 on my own. I had an SP, OP1, and like, I think that's those two things. So I have the beat on the SP, and then I'll play like some leads on the OP1 and stuff, so I could have like that live aspect to my
Mm-hmm.
music and stuff. Over the years, it evolved. Like I started using pocket operators and my OP1, so I'll have like beats playing from like three different pocket operators, and then play some leads on my OP1. That's how I was performing from like 2018 to 2019 and stuff. And then then I started just using my OPZ by itself. I had two of them, so I used two OPZs. So like
Mm.
over the years, like I just try to find new ways to perform my music live. So I'll have to make my music on the gear and like practice it all the time so I was able to perform it live. So that's why my music has that live aspect because it's literally live. When I'm like making a song or making a beat, I make sure to be able to recall those things when I perform them live. So I guess yeah, like when I was in a band, like I started playing piano, but like obviously I was not like this crazy ass piano player and shit. So I was like, what can I do to make myself be unique, but like not have to be like a crazy ass riff heavy
Mm.
person, you know what I mean? So that's when I got into the world of synths and I got obsessed. I don't know, I was obsessed with synths, like when I started performing my pocket operators, I actually became sponsored by Teenage Near also and went
Wow.
on tour with them in 2019. So like stuff like that, like I just gear was always there for me. Like when the band broke up, so I could always count on my gear because I was able to do everything by myself,
Mm-hmm.
not have to have a band. So I always call myself like I'm a live band, because
Nice,
I
nice.
want to
Yeah.
do like the drums and the synths
Mm-hmm.
live and like tweak it and make it's like a more fun experience for people watching me too, or like listening to the sound. They're able to be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like this is a whole experience because it's coming out like crispy from different boxes and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it took like a while to figure out how I wanted to perform my music live. But there's so many different ways to do it. So now I have so many different ways I can just perform live. Lately, like ever since the pandemic kind of like slowed down in the summer and I started performing, I've been playing with my Digitech and like my Euro rack and stuff. So that's been like my new setup now. I feel like
Nice.
every few years it'll change, it's like new experience. But the music I perform live is not really the music that I release either.
Do you like
So
mess with a lot of like for instance, like do you take a beat that would have been on like is one of your projects and then just like really fuck with it a lot during the
live.
performance and kind of like remix it, quote unquote, or just like tweak it?
So the thing with like if I made the beats on my OPZ, then I'm able to like perform them live again and tweak them up, add effects, blah blah. But since the pandemic happened, I just started making a lot of music on my computer and like just wasn't focused on recalling it like for the future stuff because I didn't know when I was gonna perform.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the music I could put it on my OP1 as an MP3, like just put
Oh,
the
okay, yeah.
audio file on there,
Yeah.
and then I'm able to add some effects on it and stuff like that, which is cool. But like usually with my performance, they're just kind of all new experiences. Like they're all like a unique set that you'll
Yeah.
probably just hear that one time because I probably won't play it again.
Yeah, no,
So
that's
it's like
definitely really special. Like I haven't been to too many noise or ambient shows, but the one that I always think of as just like, I mean, he's one of the legends, but like, I don't know if you're familiar with Tim Hecker.
No.
Oh, he's from Montreal actually. So he's Canadian, but he's like noise ambient like guy. And I saw him in a church one day like 2 years ago, and oh, it was fucking insane. He just like doesn't say a word, just comes in shrouded in smoke, and just
Oh wow.
like I'm sure Eurorack was one of them, but he probably had like six, and just a blistering noise, but like everything, like I was very familiar with his music. I didn't really fully recognize more than a couple songs, which made it really special
Mm-hmm.
to your point. Cause like he was taking like elements that I could recognize, but just doing something like completely different. Um,
Oh wow,
and
that's amazing.
that's really cool that you do that too. Cause I think like, especially with the pandemic, like people are really, I feel like hopefully are valuing that live performance when they get the chance. I know I did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Ever since pandemic happened, I just been trying to take shows that I know is going to be more impactful experience than just playing like just all the time and like everywhere. You know what I mean? Because in New York you can play anywhere, really. But
yeah,
I've been trying to be more minimal and like structured and how I want people to
intentional.
experience.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be like. I don't want them to experience my music at like 2 in the morning when they're like drunk as hell. Like, I want it to be
Yeah.
in a performance, like come through at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8 type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I've been trying to move lately with the way I perform. Yeah.
And in
Um,
the that Bandcamp description, I really like the one for Double Down, the album with Nappy Nina, which we'll get into a bit later. It was written in that description that it was a call to mass movement and forces folks to make dance floors of the spaces we have been stuck in. I thought that was like super like just immediately caught my attention. And it had me thinking like, how was creating music from the pandemic onward been influenced by the fact that inescapable fact that we're all or at some point been very isolated from society? Like, do you feel like you were making different kind of music because of it?
um, Definitely when I was making music, like let's say 2019, before the pandemic, I was making a lot of stuff for the dance floor, of course, because I was playing a lot of clubs and like just performing everywhere. But definitely when the pandemic happened, I was just like, I really wanted people to like be able to move their bodies and feel inside, you know what I mean? Like feel themselves and stuff. So definitely was more focused on bringing a more danceable experience where people could relate to it more. And I feel like that's basically double down is that, like you need to connect to Nina's words, you can also connect to the beat and feel your body and yourself, you know what I mean? Like even through everything that's happening, people are forgetting about their bodies and their health, like not their health, just forgetting about being inside their bodies and just moving and just relaxing and letting go of
Mm-hmm.
fear and anxiety and stuff like that. Because we're all like in that state of mind. So definitely didn't want to write music that was like pandemic and COVID. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, there's
more
enough
like
of that. Yeah.
too much of that. I don't even like it in the TV shows. It's weird that it's in
Oh
TV
yeah.
now. Like
Yeah.
in some of the TV shows, like new episodes or new season is like mask and COVID. Like, wow, man.
I was
Really not
thinking
gonna
of
experience
Insecure, how they were going to use it, because I think I remember you're a fan of that. By the way, have not watched the
it.
finale, so do not spoil.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah, but
I tweeted something yesterday, then I deleted the tweet so fast because I'm like, I don't want to be a spoiler alert. But I
I
just assumed that
legit,
everybody watched it.
I like realized it aired, and then I opened the app and it was like, oh shit! Like Insecure is probably the show that gets spoiled the most of anything I've ever seen on Twitter. So I'm like, let me just delete like the app. But as soon as I did that, I saw like, I hope it wasn't a spoiler. One of my friends tweeted something. I'm so upset with them. Like, fuck you, man. I better not wreck
thank
it.
God, thank God I deleted my tweet because I was like, I don't want people to be like, Jen's an asshole because she fucking tweeted about the finale.
Mm.
Because I gave something away, obviously. But
Okay, okay.
let's not talk about it.
Okay, so I want to get into air with the Maasai. So like obviously your style isn't the norm that people could typically work with as a rapper and a producer here. So like I would think that a lot of rappers that you've encountered you've encountered aren't used to rapping over beats that have this like dance music inspired groove or just like the high BPMs. Yet with Masai, like it just felt like a fit like a glove, like really. Um, so why do you think she was such a good fit for your type of sound?
Um, so a little background story about me and Masai and how we met. We met at a show that we both played. My first New York show as a solo artist, as a solo me, just playing beats
Nice.
and shit on live. It was at the Gloves. It was back in 2017. She was performing with a band and stuff, like not even a band. She had like a drummer and a saxophone player, and she was just rapping her ass off and singing. And I just, like the band thing, like for me, it's kind of like always in my mind and stuff. Like just my experience with the band and live stuff, and I love, I love that shit. Like get inspired by it all the time. So when I saw her perform, I was like, damn, this shit's crazy. Like wow. But when she saw me perform, she was really fucking with my beats OD. Like she's like, oh, I like the grittiness of your beat. I like the style you're going for, and like my music's always been like up tempo and stuff. So since 2017, we always talked about having a duo and being like, oh, we should make something together and blah blah,
Mhm.
And at the time, 2017, I didn't feel fully in my sound yet. But when like the pandemic happened, we were able to tap in fully. Like our first song that we recorded for the album was Toxic Behavior. And
Nice.
that day, we were all at the studio. We were at XL Studio, just with a whole bunch of friends and stuff. And we were like, when as soon as I heard her rapping on the beat, I was like, damn, we have to record this shit right now. Like, and everybody was like, you have to record this. Like, you have to record this. And like, it was really hard for me to record it that day. She was one nervous, and the beat is extremely fast, and she was rapping like, you know what I mean. But we ended up turning off all the lights in the studio, and we just like all became silent and just let her do her thing. And she fully tapped in. And then from there, I was just like, well, I'm gonna send you these type of beats, like, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? So yeah, she was able to tap into the style, and now I feel like for our next album, she's like more tapped in. So it's crazy, and I feel like it helped us both become like stronger artists, or like just be more different.
And then
So
you're saying 2017 is when you first met. So like was
mhm.
she one of the first rappers that really kind of like sought you out like that? It was like, damn, like we need to make music together.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
must have meant
like my
something like special.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like me and Masai are like in the same, like we're in the same, like our souls was put together in like a tribe or something. Like energetically we were just like it's like we found each other again, like touch energy. So yeah, like she was like one of the first people that was like, oh, like let me rap on your beats and stuff. Nobody was ever coming up to me at that time and telling me that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know any women rappers or anything like that in my neighborhood. We didn't have, like, nobody was doing that. So when we found each other, we were like, oh shit, like we definitely have to make something. So
That's
yeah,
sweet. That's
she
sweet.
was definitely one of the, and she actually brought Nappy Nina to me too. Actually, she's like she was, it was like 2019. She had just recorded her song for Nappy Nina's album, and she's just like, yo, you need to like, and the same day she recorded with Nina, we met up, and she's like, you need to like send Nina beats because she was just rapping on some weird shit and it sounded like some you shit, like, and I'm like, oh shit, maybe I'll tap in, and we ended up working on an album.
That's dope.
But
That's dope.
yeah.
What do you feel like a rapper that Masai has, and just generally, like what do you think a rapper needs to have in terms of like I don't know skill or style in order to rap over your kind of sound?
I feel like um what Messiah definitely has is that the way she switches up her flows or able to like accommodate her. She wants to be able to get challenged. Like
Yeah.
she's always like she loves the challenge. Like when she like I know when she I don't know, but I know if she hears like slow B, like she just doesn't feel that inspired to go off. And when I started her sending her beats, I guess she like felt the need to like, nah, I have to overcome this. I have to get on this because I feel like it'll probably make her grow more, or like she's overcome something, and she
Hmm.
said that to me before and stuff. So, I think it's awesome that I'm able to challenge like these rappers, even Nina, like rapping on like some of the songs for Double Down, like Wanted, or even Table Set, or even Scared, like even Real T, honestly, like
So most
that
of the album,
second
yeah.
half that she like goes off is just
Yeah.
like it's a challenge for her, you know what I mean? And um it's just awesome to see that I'm able to challenge people and challenge my friends to become better skillful rappers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't expect to do this, but this is what I'm doing. So like we're here now.
Yeah, and like who's another, like, so I'm thinking of the, like, another key rapper that you have at least two collaborations that I'm aware of. Concept
Mhm.
Jackson, that fits that kind of like ridiculous
Mhm.
chameleon insane flow shit. Like is there any like rapper that you know of that you admire that you'd love to work with that you haven't had the chance to?
Let me see. That's a good question. Hmm. I would like to work with Akai Solo actually. I
Oh,
think Akai is super skillful in the way he raps and stuff. We have to tap in. He actually wanted to get on the real T beat, but I ended up giving it to Nina and stuff. I remember he heard that one live. He was like, "Yo, send me this," and I didn't. I'm sorry, okay, but definitely I see Akai. Like I really liked his album with Best Friend.
oh,
Um,
that was insane. Like
because Best
Hajime, yeah,
Friend also makes crazy ass music, so like you know what
he's
I
dope.
mean. Like he's definitely tapped into like the way because restaurant makes fast beats too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not fast, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, it's
just
like
more rhythmic,
glitchy, like
yeah,
off, like
glitchy
weird
music.
beat rhythms. Yeah.
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 So definitely that project, I was like, oh shit, like okay, definitely got it. So definitely one of the rappers I would want to work with. Um, who else? There's definitely somebody else that I really. Oh, Samira, I would definitely
Oh
want to work
yeah.
on a project with Samira. She's
Loved her
actually
project this year.
Yeah, she makes her own beats too.
Yeah.
Super dope. I love I love her sound. I love the way she goes off. Super, she's actually in one of the new Air songs for the album. So
Nice. Nice. Nice.
super
That's
cool.
dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. You should also consider a full collab, like album with Concept
Yeah, we are
Jackson.
we are working on that actually. I didn't want to say, but yeah, definitely working on a
Actually,
little EP with Amira.
so
So
wait, who are you working on a full project with?
I'm working on a full project with Air, but Samira as well. We're working on a little EP, not a full project. So we're gonna
Okay, no,
probably
that's sick.
try to
That's
tap in
awesome.
for an EP.
Um, and you're in so your group with the Maasai is Air, something I legit
Mhm.
only found out like last month. I thought it was
I know.
H31
I know.
Whatever. Seems like everybody else got that. That's fine. What is there like any significance behind that name? Like it seems very heavy and important, like heir to the throne
um,
kind of thing.
yeah. So we're both air signs. I'm an Aquarius and Masai is
Mm,
a Gemini. So it's like a Gemini combo duo.
that's
So
dope.
we're like it took a while for us to figure out a name. I was just like, I think we should have a name that represents us and who we are and what we like, the way we move, whatever. And so since we're both air signs, we're like, oh shit, air, Heir, whatever. But then I was just like, damn, but we're futuristic, so I kind of want some numbers in there and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
the three and the one was included. So yeah, that's how the name came about, and I'm glad. I actually like it now. At first, I was just like, I don't know, like when you first, I'm terrible with names and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, I
I
know the
feel
feeling.
like, yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what's a good name. Like, what if this is not the one, but I've definitely grown into it. I love the name now. I love that people don't know how to say it. I feel like that's
Yeah, it's
fire.
not that obvious. It's like it makes perfect sense once you say it, but like it's not that obvious to where it's kind of clever. Like because I genuinely didn't even think to assume. I just thought it was some like stood for some acronym or some shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um okay, so I want to talk about Double Down now. This great EP with
Mhm.
Nappy Nina. It's recently been pressed on vinyl, which is super
Yes,
great. And so congratulations. I believe
thank
that's the
you.
first time you're
Yes,
on wax.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
First
that's
wax.
crazy. It looks dope
Yeah,
too. It's beautiful orange.
so
Um,
beautiful.
and just like Air, you and Nina have such great chemistry. So I think you kind of started talking about how you guys first got linked up, so through Masai. But why do you think you with Nina now have like a similarly great connection and working relationship?
Um, I love the way Nina raps. Nina's from Oakland. She used to listen to E40 when she was younger on her way to school. Like the crazy, she put me onto this crazy E40 song that I will never forget. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I just the way that Nina raps with all her swag. Like, I just love it. I was just like, I love this. I love this so much. I would love to write an album with Nina. You know. And
Mm-hmm.
we made a song on my little futuristic project, that was the first time we ever worked on me and her song together and stuff. But then I made the beat scared, and I'm like, I was at the time she was hitting me up. She was like, send me beats. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm gonna send you stuff. So I sent her the beat, the scared beat, and she sent me back the song. I was like, oh hell no, this shit is stupid. Like this shit is dumb. Like we have to, like we were both feeling like we have to write an album together. Let's write an album together. So actually last summer, 2020, I was just like, she was just like, oh, I sent her mad beats. Like I sent her, Wanted, um, the Real T song. And she was just like, she's recorded to all these songs and then to all these beats and then sent me back and then we organized. We saw actually all the songs that we made together. We used it for the album. We didn't even there was no throwaway. There was no nothing. It was just those 9 songs. So it just came together right away, like in a month or two. You know what I mean? It was very fast, very fast. She had a lot to say. Um, she had told me she was like, "Oh, Stas is gonna be in the Real T song." I'm like, well, I love Stas, you know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
used to listen to Dissatisfaction. That was like my Bible and shit, you know what I mean? Like in 2013, 2012. So the fact that I got to do a song with Stas Ross, I was like, damn, that's amazing. And I'm so happy that the Double Down is doing so good and like people love it, and like people resonate with it. Like that makes me really happy.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you too. And it's really cool I Nina has like a flow that makes sense, like similar to Masai, like really flexible, can really do a lot to fit your sound. But the fact that her general like tone of voice is so quiet and like
Hmm.
whispery or so like subtle, it's really interesting that it actually works. Because I mean, yeah, it's just interesting how you manage to like make a pocket for her voice to not like get overshadowed. It's kind of like all one thing. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's just a really cool mix. Like she's so like quiet, but also like so much swag. Like it's that like West
This
Coast
swag is
vibe.
so,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nina has the most swag.
It's so
She's
like
so
not
swag.
even try hard. It's just that's like the real swag.
Yeah,
Like it's just
yeah. Like
yeah.
even when we make songs together, she just has that swag. Like it's like it
Hmm.
comes with her. Part of the package. But yeah, I love Nina to death. She's like I consider her like a big sister and stuff. Like she's definitely like been really awesome. Really awesome time.
And
She
the
put she
creation.
put double down on wax. That's crazy.
Yeah, no,
Would
for
always work
sure.
with her.
The creation of this you mentioned was really like a pretty quick process. Like it was a month or two, and it just seemed to come together really well, really quickly. So like I'm curious, did that reflect in like the actual end product in terms of the fact that there's a lot more like shorter songs? It's like I think 18 minutes or so, but in terms of
Mhm.
like the tracks, a lot of them are like sub 2 minutes. Was
Mhm.
that like a deliberate effort to make it like short and sweet, lightning in a bottle kind of style, where you just got a lot of beats, a lot of sounds, but they're short, or did it just
Mhm.
make sense? Just get created
Um,
naturally that way?
I feel like it just got created naturally that way. I don't think we both intended it to be like either short or long. Um we were just more like we're gonna put something out together because these songs are fire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at first I was just like not that I wasn't taking it that serious, but it was more like I was just getting songs sent back all the time and stuff, like as soon as I sent the beat. So I was like, some of the songs that got created in the most randomest ways too, like Table Set got started on Twitter because I had I'd be posting my beat videos and whatever, So I posted this one beat and Nina hit me up. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna like take this video from your Twitter. I'm gonna take this beat. I'm gonna write to it, and then I'm gonna post it again." And I'm like, That's cute." Like it was also like peak pandemic energy, so we were just on Twitter. That's like, I feel like Twitter was a hangout spot last year. You know what I mean? Like that's where everybody was at. So we did that, and then she was just like, "Oh, like I'm gonna just record like another verse on this shit." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this song fire." You know what I mean? Like the table set has like this also change in the middle of the song where it gets like a little bit more intense and faster and stuff. So like she like when she like wrote that verse and sent that by, I was like, damn, that's crazy, because she had only done the first verse from the Twitter video, but didn't get to do the second one yet. But yeah, that's how that song got created. It was pretty cool. It was just like on the internet, like sharing vibes and stuff, So that was yeah, I guess we were all just bored last year and like going through it. We were both anxious as people and shit, So it was like a way to pass the time,
Yeah, I can definitely
write
vibe with
music,
that.
definitely. I was just writing my music last year, So
Yeah. And on top of your Double Down Wax, you also had another physical drop recently for your Sonic Liberation EP. That one, that project, you're exploring a lot more of like the electronic specific sound of your kind of repertoire, and it got me thinking, particularly actually because in your Instagram profile, I found it interesting that it says electronic music producer, and like I think it still says that, and not like something like hip hop slash electronic slash dance or whatever the fuck, And I'm curious, like, do you think you're gonna continue working within these electronic drum and bass dance, like all these kind of styles, or do you see yourself honing in on one more specific sound in the future?
No, I'm definitely like, so I feel like JWords sound for real is, I'm an electronic music producer. That's why I wrote that, because I use electronic gear. I love electronic gear. I'm gonna keep getting more gear in the future and just continue exploring on like different gear, because every time I get a new piece of equipment, I create a cool new sound. Like I got started my Eurorec like late 2020, like in November. Like I got one piece for free, and then I bought the box. Then I got another piece, and then another piece, and then I made Sonic Liberation in like a month.
Damn.
Of just because like I was just exploring the piece of equipment and stuff. But yeah, my sound is basically I make electronic music, even like everything on Velocity and Double Down, that's electronic. I consider that electronic music. I don't really consider it hip hop. I do consider it hip hop as well, but it's electronic music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's basically what I make all the time. Like I'm dropping a new album soon with this brand. I'm gonna keep it unknown for now, so people could be surprised. But and it's basically like I'm going back to being a crazy ass electronic head. you'll hear it. I think you'll probably like it and stuff. It's a mix of everything, kind of, because I have one song that I have vocals in. You know what I mean? So yeah, when I made Sonic Liberation, honestly, it was like my favorite project from like that I've made alone
Nice.
and stuff. Like,
why was it your favorite?
Just because of the way it came out, it was just like so, like the mood, like the vibe that it came out in. Like I was just in a certain vibe, and I loved that vibe. I was just like tapped in, like to some other shit that I wasn't really tapped into before. Like it was really beautiful. I felt like I was in space for like a month making
It
these
does
songs.
feel like that. It's a nice title, Sonic Liberation. It did feel very open.
Yeah, I was really like not depressed. I wouldn't say depressed, but I was definitely in a like not in a low vibration, but I was in a high vibration, being in a low setting. I was at my parents' house still. I was like kind of depressed because I was there, all the time. So but I was also happy that I got like a new piece of gear because like I could take my mind off of my settings, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah,
And
I made
so
that through the scrub.
like um from what I've gathered, just like from your previous interviews and the vibe I'm getting from you now, like you're obviously a very down to earth person. And you seem like content with like who you are, what you make, making music for like the love of it, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that because the reception I feel like you've received for your work since basically like 2020 and onward has been just like insanely positive, very highly like glowing and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Are you surprised by the acclaim that you've
Yeah,
received?
I think so. Yeah, I'd be like, damn, like people really fuck with my shit. Cause like I don't really try to make music a specific way. I just make the sound that like I want to make. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that people like that sound that I'm making. You know, and I've created for myself. So yeah, I get like super happy and I'm super grateful all the time. Like, damn, like you really fuck with my shit. Like that's crazy. You know, like
Yeah.
I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah, like it's even, I think it's a good thing, like not only because you make great music, but just the type of music you make. Like I think it's opening people's minds to like different sounds. Like I found myself after first listening to your music, I'm a little more like open to hearing irregular, quote unquote, just not the standard BPM in hip hop, for instance. Like that's a pretty fundamental change when you really think about it. Like it's been very much one expectation for a long time, but like all these things, eventually you just kind of need to hear something one time, and then you're like, oh, they don't need
Yeah, I
to sound
definitely
like this
wanted to
anymore.
bring. Yeah, I definitely wanted to bring something new to the table as well. Like, if I'm gonna keep continue making music, like I definitely don't want to make like type of a type beat. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely never wanted to make type beats. Definitely wanted to bring my own say into the table. Like, here, this is what I sound like. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So hopefully, it inspires people to make crazier, sounds and not don't have to live in a certain realm all the time. You know what I mean? You could explore, you could adventure always. Like don't like I never want somebody to put me in a box and be like, this is JWords sounds like this, or you know what I mean? Because I'm always gonna be trying to make something new and different all the time.
Hmm.
You know, as I get older and stuff.
Yeah. And so, before we go, it's been a great conversation. I wanted to give you a moment to just like spotlight anything new you have coming up in 2022 that you can talk about. So yeah, what's going on with you next year?
Well, so far, I have this one album coming out. It's called Self Connection, and it's gonna be for this clothing brand that we're gonna drop merch and um, we're gonna drop cassettes. So I'm gonna be able to, have my own merch. Which is gonna be fun. I never had a JWords tee before.
Nice.
A lot of firsts happening and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that. It's already done. It's high BPMs and danceable, super euphoric feeling stuff. So yeah, hopefully people fuck with that. Me and Masai are working on a new album for Air. We just signed to Big Data. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. Me and Nina are already talking about working on something new just for the fun of it again. Me and
Nice. Nice.
Samira like are trying to tap in. So yeah, I'm just gonna be making a lot of music. I'm probably do like random little Bandcamp drops, you know, like a song or two. I wrote like 3 beats recently that I'm like, damn, this just sounds good together. So maybe I'll drop that. I'm so happy I could still be free with music. I'm still free with the way I drop my music. I want to stay like this forever,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
flexibility is nice, right?
Yeah. Like it's cool to sign like to Big Data for a 1 album deal. You know what I mean? Like, because we don't feel tied down to like just being with one label forever. You know what I mean? So that's fun. So I'll probably do random like 1 album deals with people. You know what I mean? For a good price. So you know, yeah, just making more music,
And
tapping
do you have
in.
any other like
Happy to
merch drops? Anything coming up, like additional to what
just
you have?
just the merch with the brand. It's gonna be a cute ass shirt, honestly. It's
Nice.
gonna be for both, for everybody anyway that I was gonna want to wear. I was gonna make it crop top, but I'm like, let me not make it crop top. So just that. But yeah, me and Messiah are probably gonna work on some new Air merch.
I need that. I need that. I'm not missing out this time. No way.
Don't miss out. But yeah, that's it. I mean, we have more Double Down records for sale if anybody wants to buy.
We'll do. Put that in the link in all the descriptions of this. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm really just, I want everybody to listen to your music. You're the music that if I need to have the aux, which I always want to have the aux with my friends, and I'm like, let me play something that's like more upbeat, but doesn't like that isn't shit music. Because to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of my friends' music sometimes. So I'm like, and everybody's like, oh damn, what is this? And I'm like, yeah, shut the fuck up.
You want to be the person with the good music, actually.
Yeah. And I love it. Everybody I've played like Air music, Double Down, your own kind of electronic shit. Like people love it, and I hope that continues for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, and people like you. You guys will make me feel like, damn, I can really do this.
No.
So, thank you.
And thank you for coming on, and appreciate the time. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
So this concludes today's episode of the Rap Music Plug podcast presented by QLC TV. I hope this episode gave you some fresh new perspectives on the latest rap releases, as well as a recommendation for the next great rap record to add to your collection. If you're an artist looking to level up your career, getting more gigs, album sales, merch sales, whatever it may be, I would love to help you with that by providing you artist development and writing services. So if you're interested, contact me via email at qlctv.podcast@gmail.com or hit me up via Twitter or Instagram at rapmusicplugpod. I would be honored to lend my expertise and help you grow your career as an artist. And also for regular rap fans that just want to hear more quality commentary on the genre, follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. For exclusive content and updates related to the show, follow the Rap Music Plug podcast on Facebook to help the show grow and ensure that everyone's listening to the best rap music at all times. Follow the show on the podcast platform of your choice. Make sure you leave a review and rating on Apple Podcasts so that the show can be spotlighted by that wonderful algorithm and be exposed to more people. You can find all of this information along with exclusive playlists created by myself by clicking the link that's in the episode's notes. So that's all for today. Talk to you soon.